Kia ora koutou, hello everybody, and welcome to this video about astrology, Western tropical astrology, from the point of view of New Zealand or Aotearoa. In this video, I'm going to talk about the upcoming Venus retrograde, which is a key point of the year, Venus being the third brightest object in the sky after the sun and moon. It's pretty amazing, and even maybe brighter than the moon because it has its own light, whereas the moon is reflected light. Venus will go retrograde for 40 days and 40 nights, kind of biblical, isn't it? And it only happens every year and a half. My name is Fiona of Sun and Moon Calendar.nz, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment or subscribe to my channel. Now let's get into Venus retrograde. Venus will start its retrograde period from the 23rd of July and it will go till the 4th of September. It actually went into the shadow period in June, and that is, I think it was the 20th of June. The shadow period is where Venus is going over the same degrees in the sign of Leo where it will be retrograding. It was going over the same degrees that it will then retrograde back over. So you might want to think back to late June and the first part of July to think about any events, especially unusual events that might have happened, especially perhaps to do with relationships, your finances, your sense of self-worth, your resources and how you care for them, or your material possessions. Venus covers a lot. Also, pleasures, sensual pleasures, tangible gifts from the earth. And that is all part of what Venus governs. So think back and think of anything that actually came up in that time, because during the retrograde period, you'll be going back over some of those things. So look at there. There's that list of Venus and what Venus covers. Venus is about love. Venus is about beauty, and with love, that's about relationships. It's also what we love, like we love doing something and we can get carried away in the pleasure of it. It's also about how we love ourselves, our sense of self-worth. Venus is also about sensual pleasures, as I said, like really enjoying what we can see, feel, touch, taste, smell, just lapping up the material reality of life. We're given this life on earth, and sure, we can be all spiritual and high-minded and lifted up to higher realms and greater understandings of unseen energies, but we were given a body to enjoy life with, and Venus is a big part of us remembering that that is important. So also Venus is about money, because it's the things, the material wealth of the earth and things that we value, tangible things. So it might be a time to review one's finances or the way that we use our money and resources. Let's take a look at Leo, because Venus is going to be going retrograde through the sign of Leo. Leo is a fire sign, and that means Leo is enthusiastic, sparky, very creative in a gut instinct kind of way. And Leo will take initiative. And Leo is also known to be perhaps the most playful sign of the zodiac. Leo also has a confidence. There's almost a regal quality. That Leos can be like a leader and can have people who follow them and look up to them. There's a queen-like or a king-like energy with Leo. And with that, there's a lot of confidence. Going with that, Leos like to have praise, and everybody has got Leo in their chart. So there will be some area of your life where you like to receive praise. And these are all things that could come into play and be up for review with Venus going retrograde in Leo. So what does it mean to go retrograde? When Venus is in retrograde, that means that it has come between the sun and the earth, and so Venus is in between us, maybe not in the middle, but it's somewhere in between us. And from our viewpoint, Venus is so close to the sun and in front of the sun that we can't actually see it. At the beginning of the retrograde, and of course in the last few months, you will have seen Venus very bright in the sky as an evening star. During the retrograde period, Venus is going to get closer and closer to the sun. from our viewpoint until it loses visibility. We can't see it at all while it goes past the sun, and then it's going to come out the other side as a morning star and become visible again, reborn as a morning star. During that retrograde period, even though we can't see Venus, Venus is closer to us, and that can intensify some of the themes of Venus. So looking again at the themes of Venus that might come up during the retrograde, one of the classic things that Venus retrograde is known for is an ex reappearing in your life, or an old flame showing up. This happened to me, I think, a couple of Venus retrogrades ago, and I got an email from an old boyfriend that I'd known 30 years ago in London, and that was a really nice surprise. And then we just sent some emails back and forth to each other, and that was about it. But it was really nice to hear how he was doing in his life. Maybe something like that will happen to you. During another Venus retrograde, I had a really big review, like an emotional review of my relationship with one of my sisters. And I remember walking over the hills, and it wasn't the normal hills I walk over. I went right down the back and down some deep gullies, and I thought that that symbolized the whole going deep into the past. And I was thinking about my sister and how I needed a different perspective on some of the disagreements that we'd had in the past. So Venus retrograde, it can be just a light little thing, like you see someone from the past, an old friend or lover, or it can be really deep, a deep review, digging out things. There we have a slide about Venus as an evening star, as she is before the retrograde, and then as a morning star, as she will appear after the retrograde. In te reo, some of the names for Venus as an evening star are Meremere tu ahiahi, ahiahi being evening, or rangi tu ahiahi, and as a morning star, kōpu. There are probably other names from around the country. So there we go, that's my video about Venus retrograde. I recommend that you don't go off and get engaged during this time, or sign a big contract involving a lot of money, unless it feels really right to do so. And if it does, then go for it, because there could be other energies going on that are supporting that. Whatever's going on for you, I hope that it's beneficial for you and you come out feeling clearer about your love, your money, your relationships, and the ways that you enjoy beauty and pleasure in life. Ka kite anō.